Okay, welcome. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a good Monday. I am going to get started with the guided newspaper class for today, and we organize these classes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In case you're watching this for the first time, please remember that we organize these classes with the aim to help a student improve their basics. So if you're struggling with your vocabulary, if you're struggling with your grammar, sentence structuring, this class will help you improve there. And also, if you think that you are hesitant to speak the language, you're sometimes struggling to get vocabulary out of your mind, this class will help you improve that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to get started in just a couple of minutes. In case you are here for the first time, please let me know that you're here. I mean, just let me know or give me a hi on the chat box. Yeah, okay, okay, all right, okay, great, great. Okay, so I'll just tell you what we do in these classes. What we do is we read out an article for you, one by one, and we explain those words to you, explain all the uncommon words to you, and later we also do some guided speaking. Okay, and after that, you are also expected to write sentences. So this is how the class is about, right? And today's article is about improving, what the fate of basically the fast track delivery applications that are there. Now, there are some applications that deliver groceries and deliver food items, right? So, what is it that is going to happen with them with the pandemic situation? That's today's article, and this is very specific to probably England, not really India. This is very specific to England. Okay, all right. So, what you're going to do is you are going to read this along with me. You're just going to listen basically with whatever reading that I'm doing. And I'm just going to do it a little differently today. Yeah, I will read it out and you're not going to see the article, right? So I'll pause my screen share while I read it out so that you also improve your listening skill. Okay? Okay. So pay attention to my reading. That's it. Yes. Over the past year, you may have noticed the rapid growth in all kinds of app based delivery services. For a while, supermarkets weren't involved. Traditionally, the industry does not grow very much, the margins are small but predictable. But something strange has happened. Interest and investment in app based delivery has exploded with various fast track services offering to have groceries at your door within a specified number of minutes. Weezy is the market leader in the UK, but you may have also heard of Fresh Direct or Sainsbury's 60-minute delivery option or Chop Chop. That's the option's name. Grocery is a multi billion pound industry that appears to be in the midst of a massive disruption. One of the most business cases here in the story of Web1. It was one of the first grocery delivery apps started in the late 1990s in the US, but it also offers a cautionary tale. It was fueled by massive investment, all too common for the dot-com era. It built massive warehouses and bought trucks, delivery vehicles, and machinery in a bid to become a digitally enabled grocery delivery chain. It raised 800 million US dollars and ended up bankrupt 3 years later. So, why is this rash of apps any different? Onlookers could be forgiven for seeing the massive losses posted by some of the companies and thinking they could be heading in the same direction. Simultaneously, you may also wonder at even larger investments that continue to pour in them. If you're confused about why this is possible, you are not alone. To understand why this is happening, you have to understand that grocery delivery apps are not in the grocery business. They are in the data and logistics business. Grocery delivery apps today are four-sided marketplaces. Most people are only familiar with two of these sides, the customer and the grocer. If you have had a really bad or really good delivery experience, then you are also probably familiar with the third, courier side of the market, while food producers, manufacturers make up the fourth. Delivery apps make money from all of these market participants. Customers pay the delivery cost, service fees, and usually a markup on the groceries they purchase. The grocery chains pay a commission for each item sold. The couriers, typically classified as contractors, pay by foregoing the usual benefits of an employee, thus subsidizing the cost of delivery. The food producers and manufacturers pay for the customer data and advertising within the apps. You might think chains such as Tesco, Walmart, and Aldi are better positioned than grocery delivery apps because they are so much bigger and have correspondingly large scale. However, it is important to note the scale grocery chains have is largely a response to their low margins and so doesn't necessarily provide a competitive advantage. They have large operations, supply chains, and shop fronts because competition has reduced their profits to a meager 2% or 3%. They have to have tremendous scale, not because they are thriving, but because it keeps them alive. Okay, so that's with a comparison between the supermarkets and whatever. Yes, correct. Correct, Shiv Kailash. Dheeraj, I didn't show you the article today because I want you to listen. When you read the article, you tend to understand it, but you also have to improve your listening skill. Okay, so now is when I'm going to resume my screen share, and now is when you'll be able to see the article. Okay, all right. So, with the listening that you did, how much did you understand? Let me know. All of you, Dheeraj, Sumit, Suraj, Tenzin, Shivam, please let me know how much you understood of whatever you listened. Okay, okay. All right, that's nice. So let's get started with the reading part now, as in you're going to read this along with me and let's try and understand some good words, some less common words that we came across. Okay, and it can help if you're noting down these words as well. Yeah, so let's get started with the reading. Over the past year, you may have noticed over the past year, they're talking about a duration, right? So that's when you use over. Over the past year, you may have noticed the rapid growth in all kinds of app based delivery services. Okay, rapid growth, rapid adjective growth now. Okay, for a while, supermarkets weren't involved. Traditionally, the industry does not grow much. The margins are small but predictable. Okay, but something strange has happened. Interest and investment in app based delivery has exploded, with various fast track services offering to have groceries at your door within a specified number of minutes. We have that in India as well. VZ is the market leader in the UK, but you may have also heard of Fresh Direct, Sainsbury 60-minute delivery option. It's called Chop Chop. Okay, grocery is a multi-billion pound industry that appears to be in the middle of a massive disruption. Now, disruption, as in blowing up. That means disruption here. Sometimes disruption also means a kind of a disturbance. Okay, that's disruption. Okay, moving ahead. I hope you understood the article until now. All right, Nishit and Akash, great job. All right, one of the famous business cases here is the story of Webvan. It was one of the first grocery delivery apps, started in the late 1990s in the US, but it also offers a cautionary tale. What is cautionary? Caution, anything that has a lot of caution, anything that involves a lot of, being a little careful types. That's what this particular story, tale is a story. It was fueled by is to be triggered by, the growth is triggered by massive, big investment, all too common for the dot-com era. So in the internet, I mean, all these e-commerce websites definitely involve a lot of investment. It built massive warehouses. Warehouse is anything that holds stock of a lot of items, goods. Okay, bought trucks. Remember, bought is different from brought. Please don't mix the two. Delivery vehicles and machinery in a bid to become digitally enabled grocery delivery chain. As in, they wanted to become this digitally enabled, as in anybody on the internet can invest and buy, sorry, not invest, can buy from that particular application. So it raised 800 million US dollars. Raised in this case means that it pooled together, it gathered a lot of money, and in this case, it raised about 800 million US dollars and ended up bankrupt 3 years later, ran out of money 3 years later. Okay, so why is this rash of apps any different? As in rash of apps, as in all the apps that we saw, why are they any different? Onlookers could be forgiven for seeing the massive losses posted by some of the companies and thinking they could be heading in the same direction. Onlookers, anybody who is watching you, that's it, that's an onlooker, right? Could be forgiven for seeing the massive losses posted by some of the companies and thinking they could be heading in the same direction. As in, this sentence in itself means to say that people who are showing interest in these apps, or people who are ordering from these apps, people who have crazy interest in these apps, can be forgiven. Or maybe, if they're going against it, if they're not really going on the app, or if they're not buying from the apps, or they're thinking that these apps are bad, such people could be forgiven, as in they consider these losses that the companies are going through, and they may be thinking that it's never going to recover that loss. That's the problem with these companies. Simultaneously, at the same time, you may also wonder at the even larger investments that continue to pour into them. So on one hand, these companies are running into losses, and on the other hand, there are also companies that are investing in these delivery chains. Why is that happening? Is maybe a person like us can be confused. And he says, this particular author says that you are not alone if you feel so. Okay. So let's move ahead with the article. To understand why this is happening, you may have to understand that grocery delivery apps are not in the grocery business. Okay, firstly, you need to understand that they are in the data and the logistics business. Okay, grocery delivery apps are four-sided marketplaces. A marketplace is anything where you buy or sell. So these grocery delivery apps get data. That's what they're saying. Okay, where yes, customer data is like one, and then there are grocers who sell their products, and then there are people who make those products, right? And then there is the person who is delivering the product, the delivery partners. That's also one person who is involved in this particular marketplace. So these grocery delivery apps are not just customer and the grocer. It's not that. That's what the author says. And you need to understand this before we understand why so many people are investing in these companies. Moving ahead, delivery apps make money from all of these market participants, right? So they make money from the customers by getting the delivery cost, service fees, and all of that. and the grocery chains pay a commission of how much for each item they sold, right? And then they come, they whatever charge the contractors, basically the delivery partners, they charge them, and they give them a margin amount on whatever they are earning. That's how it is. And then the producers and manufacturers pay for customer data, right? So as in what kind of items I am buying. Say on Swiggy, if I order a certain item, I may be preferred or I may be showed similar ads because I am that kind of person according to the app. So the maybe Swiggy is selling customer data for to advertisers for them to post ads on this particular app, right? So that's how delivery apps earn money. And we're thinking delivery apps earn money only from us and from the restaurants, right? It's not that. That's something that this particular article has revealed. Now, moving ahead, you might think that chains such as Tesco, Walmart, and Aldi are better positioned than grocery delivery apps because they're so much bigger and they have correspondingly large scale, comparatively large scale, correspondingly, comparatively. However, it is important to note the scale grocery chains have is largely a response to their low margins. Okay, as in these grocery chains have so much traffic, as in imagine the amount of time you have used Swiggy, it say the last 1 year, right? Or how many, we don't know any other name, right? We just have that name, right? So the traffic is huge. And because of that, your margins also tend to be low. You're spending a lot of money to get that traffic, but your profit margins are really low. So it does not really provide an advantage to these grocery chains over the grocery delivery apps, right? That's what they mean. Now, they have large operations, supply chains, and shop fronts because competition has reduced their profits to a meager 2% to 3%. They have to have tremendous scale, not because they are thriving, but because it keeps them alive. Now, these particular delivery chains or big supermarkets that you see, they are not big because they are, they have grown and reached that spot. They are big because that's what actually keeps them alive, and that's what gets them or attracts customers. So that's like a comparison that this paragraph is making, and that's it about today's article. So did you understand what I meant here? Yes, all of you? Okay. So I also hope you took note of the words and phrases that were different according to you, that were new according to you, because that's how you're going to improve vocabulary, and using them will help you improve vocabulary. Yes, were you able to do that? Okay, wonderful, great. Right. So let's get started with guided speaking. So I'll tell you what guided speaking has. So guided speaking has me using the article and you repeating after me after me as to whatever I am speaking. All right. But I need responses. Did you guys understand what the article was about? Yes, you did. Okay, great. Tenzil, Nishit, Shiv Kailash, nice. Good, good, very good. Okay, so let's move ahead and do some guided speaking. I won't be able to do the entire article, but I will try and cover as much as possible. Okay, right. So repeat after me with the same kind of stresses, same kind of pauses, same tone if possible. Okay, okay. Let's get started. Right. Over the past year, you may have noticed the rapid growth in all kinds of app based delivery services. For a while, supermarkets weren't involved. Traditionally, the industry does not grow very much. The margins are small but predictable. But something strange has happened. Interest and investment in app based delivery has exploded. With various fast track services, offering to have groceries at your door within a specified number of minutes. Wheezy is the market leader in the UK. But you may have also heard of Fresh Direct or Sainsbury's 60-minute delivery option. Chop chop. Grocery is a multi-billion pound industry. That appears to be in the midst of a massive disruption. Next, one of the most famous business cases here is the story of Webvan. It was one of the first grocery delivery apps. Started in the late 1990s in the US. But it also offers a cautionary tale. It was fueled by massive investment, all too common for the dot-com era. It built massive warehouses and bought trucks, delivery vehicles, and machinery in a bid to become a digitally enabled grocery delivery chain. It raised 800 million US dollars and ended up bankrupt 3 years later. Okay, so that's it with guided speaking. You can do the rest of the article on your own, but please make sure that you're doing it, even if you're watching it as a recording or even if you're doing this live with me. Just make sure that you're doing this either with this article or any article, but do it every day. Don't wait for the guided newspaper class to happen. Okay, I know this sets a routine for you. I know that it kind of gives you exposure to different content, but don't just depend on what I use as content, right? You can have your own content list as well. Okay, all right. So that's with guided speaking now. So let's just move ahead and do some writing. Let's write some sentences. Now you learned this word massive. You learned exploded. You also learned predictable. You learned midst, in the midst of. That's a phrase. Disruption is also a phrase. Bankrupt is a word. Fueled by is a phrasal verb that you heard from whatever speaking that we did. Correct? Yes. So let's do some writing now. What you can do is try writing a word with predictable. Okay, that's the word. So predictable means anything that you can estimate as to what will happen in the future. Correct? So that is predictable. So please just give me sentences with predictable if you can on the live chat. Yes. So that's going to help you and the other students do sentences or write sentences on your own. Go ahead. Yes. That's the word. In case you're looking for what the word is, frame.com is internet, just another word for internet. Shiv Kailash. Okay, frame a sentence with the word. Yes, so internet era basically. Era is like a period. .com is internet. Another word, another less formal word for internet. Shiv Kailash. Okay. Was not predictable. Okay, was not predictable by the Indian government? No, it was not predictable in general, Dheeraj. So the phrase "by the Indian government" does not really add up. You can probably remove that. And was not predictable itself indicates that nobody was able to predict it. Okay, yeah. Maybe you can say especially by the Indian government. That's a good way to write the sentence. Dheeraj, good job. Let's have a look at other sentences, but good one, Dheeraj. Very quick and spontaneous as well. Okay. If there's anyone else, please add your sentence too. Okay. Yeah. Our future is not predictable. Okay. Do you mean our future is not predictable? Tenzin. So in our hand is incorrect, right? Though future is not predictable, yet Indian people believe in astrologers, believe in something. Okay, or you can say believe in astrology. Neha. Future Future, Tenzin, not Furture. That's different. Or it's not even a word. Okay. Yeah, good ones, Neha. Good structure as well. Okay. All right. Great. So I hope that you enjoyed the session, and I hope that you're also doing this as a habit every day. That's the point of these classes. So I will see you on Wednesday with another article, but whoever has not posted their sentences, please post them here on the live chat. And if you're someone who has interest in joining our advanced programs, you can fill up the admissions form that I'm about to send you. You can fill that up and we will contact you and help you choose the best program, right? And in case you're wondering what these programs contain, before even you fill it up, the details are also there in the form link that I sent, right? So please take a look at the advanced programs and fill up if you are interested or want to have a conversation with us. Yes? All right. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye. Have a good week. Okay. Good ones, Shiv Kailash and Akash. So I'll see you on Wednesday then. Bye bye.